AITA for refusing to have anything to do with my mother after she abandoned me for 10 years, then came back and spitefully said my dad wasn't my dad after letting him raise me solo. My 20M parents were young when they dated, and mother got pregnant with me. They broke up during the pregnancy, and my mother called dad to the hospital, and she left me with him and said she wasn't interested in parenting, and since he was, he could do it. She did nothing for me for the next 10 years. There was no contact, no child support, and yes, my dad pursued it. No nothing. My dad did it all. He was on his own and committed to raising me. There were times I asked him about my mother, and he tried to stay neutral with a slightly positive leaning on her, just because he didn't want me to hate myself for being half her. He wanted to nurture confidence and security in me. And as much as I hate her today, I appreciate him doing it because I was sort of fragile as a kid emotionally, and I think the insecurity and self-loathing would have been bad if I had known just how awful she was. A few weeks after I turned 10, my mother shows up and acts like she can just start playing supermom. She told dad she wanted to take me and raise me now and didn't want to fight over it. She told me I was going to move in with her, and I fought back and said I wanted to stay with dad and she was a stranger. Then, when she wasn't getting her way, she told us dad wasn't my real dad anyway, and I was someone else's bio kid, so I didn't belong with him. She said it for pure spite, but also because she thought dad would dump me on the spot. Until we got the DNA test, I was in pieces over that. I felt guilty, because dad raised me not knowing I didn't want to have a different dad or lose him. He spent ages reassuring me he would be my dad no matter what, and I was his son no matter what, and he loved me. But I was expecting someone to come between us the rest of the time. I was so sure my mother would find the actual guy and he'd take me away, or they both would. But a DNA proved that I was dad's kid. He paid for it privately, just because he wanted me to be comforted, and deep down, he believed I was his, even if he was sick at the thought of my mother telling the truth. We don't know if she had doubts about who was my father, but she was wrong that dad was 100% not my dad. She disappeared again after the DNA results, and she was pissed. She acted like I was supposed to jump into her arms and run away with her, even though she was a stranger, and even the way she talked to me showed she would have been a shitty mother. It was only 2.5 months ago that she showed up again. She moved to town with her husband and his 2 little kids. They made a point of stopping by mine and dad's house and introducing him and the kids. They said his kid's mom died and my mother was going to be their mom now, and we'd be siblings and we should be a family. I told them I wanted nothing to do with her or any of them, and I told her after what she did, she had audacity to come back and act like I'd ever want anything to do with her. She argued that it was 10 years ago, and she's grown. I said she could fuck off and die in a hole because she was a spiteful B** touch and unworthy of being called a mom. Dad told them they needed to leave. My mother's husband was willing to go because he didn't like our attitude apparently, but she acted offended and was trying to linger. She approached me a few times since, and I've ignored her completely. She told me I should hear her out and give her a chance. Her husband was there one of those times, and he was saying shit about me, and how much of a monster I am for the fuck off and die in a hole comment because I want his kids to lose 2 mothers and be motherless twice before they're 5. I ignored them still, but the comments bother me a little because I want to scream that they should move away if they don't like it, but I know I can't make them leave. And I know I haven't heard her side. I don't want to hear it. I don't want a relationship or anything to do with her, ever. But does that make me TA? And I'm the same age my parents were when I was born. I feel too young for kids, but I would never fuck my kid over the way she did me. She was 30 when she did that. Like WTF. She wasn't a kid anymore, and she didn't give a shit about what it did to me. She didn't give a shit what it did to dad, even though he was on his own with me and had 0 support from her. Am I overreacting for refusing to co-sign my husband's 35 male dream truck loan when he still owes me $8,000 from my inheritance? I, 33 female, got a modest inheritance when my grandma passed last year. I used $8,000 of it to bail my husband out of some credit card debt. We agreed he'd pay me back over time. No pressure, but so far, I've gotten $0. Yesterday, he came home all excited about a new truck, $55K, and asked me to co-sign because his credit isn't great. I said no because 1, he hasn't even started paying me back, and 2, we just bought new appliances and are saving for a house. He blew up, said I was holding money over his head and not supporting his dreams. He even threw in that a wife should back her husband no matter what. I told him flat out, until I see him make an effort to pay me back, I'm not co-signing anything. Now he's barely speaking to me, and my mother-in-law texted that I'm emasculating him. I feel guilty because I know he wants this truck badly, but I also feel like I'd be an idiot to sign. Am I overreacting? Would I be in the wrong for breaking up with my boyfriend of 3 years because he considered going into a polygamous relationship? I, 19 female, have been with my ex-boyfriend, 22 male, for over 3 years. For context, me and my boyfriend, we'll call him Sam, were having a conversation one night about our future together. And along the lines of this convo, I brought up the fact that I am going to pursue law as a future career, and I had researched countries out there that have better job opportunities than where I live. Because where I live, unemployment is huge. So I tell him that I'm going to pursue a career maybe in Australia or any other country that has a reasonable employment rate. Instead of being supportive or encouraging me, he says I should just be a housewife. There is no need for me to work anyways, because he will provide for everything. And I said, no, I don't want to be a housewife. I want to be a lawyer. I don't want to sit at home for the rest of my life with a law degree just hanging on my living room wall. Then he said, and I quote, "If you value this relationship, you will either be a housewife or be fine with the idea that I will find another person to fulfill my needs." And I was shocked that he'd ever consider that. So I talked to my mom about this, and she said I should break up with him because if he's invalidating your aspirations and dreams now, what will happen in the future if we ever decided to get married, of which at some point we have said we want to spend forever with each other? And honestly, I don't think I can spend forever with a person who invalidates my dreams, so I broke up with him. Now I've been getting texts from his mom, siblings, and friends that I'm overreacting and being unreasonable and I should get over myself. Even went as far as to belittling me because I hurt their precious boy. Their words, not mine. So am I overreacting?
Am I the bad for wanting to quit my stable job for something that might actually make me happy? I work at this corporate job that everyone in my life says I'd be absolutely insane to leave. Decent pay, good benefits, predictable schedule, all that stuff that's supposed to make a job good. The work is mind-numbing. There's zero room for creativity. My boss treats me like I'm invisible, and I spend most of my time just counting down hours until I can escape. I dread Sunday nights, live for Friday afternoons, and spend way too much time complaining to my girlfriend about how miserable I am. Here's the thing. I got offered a position at this smaller company doing work that actually sounds interesting. Same salary, but less job security, more uncertainty. But it involves actual problem solving, autonomy, room to grow and learn new things. I want to take it, but literally everyone I know is telling me I'd be reckless and stupid to leave stability in this economy. So, am I the asshole for wanting to quit the safe, boring option for something riskier that might actually make me not hate my life? Or should I just suck it up and be grateful like everyone keeps telling me to be?
Am I the odd hole for being angry with her? I honestly don't think I'm the AR hole here. Like, it's such a small thing. I tucked my belly in for pictures, the same way everyone poses to look a bit better. It's not like I lied about who I am. I just wanted to feel a little more confident when I posted, and that's not a crime. But apparently one of my best friends thought it was hilarious to tell everyone. She went around saying I was fake, that I was hiding my real body, and she made fun of me behind my back. Hearing it secondhand from other people was humiliating. What hurts the most isn't even the gossip, it's that she was supposed to have my back. Best friends don't tear you down for a cheap laugh. I feel betrayed because she chose to embarrass me instead of supporting me. So basically, ending my relationship over this makes me the bad person.
Am I the asshole for the way I ate at a buffet? I, 18 male, recently got into law school and am now a Bachelor of Laws student. My parents decided to take me to a special lunch at a buffet as a reward. My aunts, uncle, and cousins were also there. My uncle gave me a labor law textbook as a gift. Now, I usually don't eat a lot for lunch. I actually used to skip the meal or have just a banana to save money to buy books. But this was a buffet and they had some really nice dishes. I sampled many things and ended up wolfing down 40 pieces of sashimi. I know, because I went to the counter 5 times and got 8 pieces each time. My dad didn't say anything, but my mom later told me I embarrassed her by eating like a starving kid. That the amount I ate made it look like she didn't feed me enough. She was very upset about it.
Am I the asshole for telling my ex-husband he can't stay with me? Am I the asshole? My ex-husband wants to come see the kids, and I told him no problem, that would be cool. Context, he lives in another state now. He says he wants to stay 2 weeks. I'm like, oh, the kids would love that. But here's where he feels I become the asshole. He then proceeded to tell me that he is going to stay with me, and I told him, no, you're not. You can get a hotel because you're not staying at my house. Then he says, so you want me to pay to come out there, pay for a hotel, spend money, while I'm out there just to see the kids? I said yes. Then I told him if he can't afford it, then he can stay a weekend, and then a hotel won't be that expensive. But he's not staying with me, so now I'm keeping him away from his kids because I won't let him stay with me and feed him every night while he's here. So am I the asshole for not letting him stay? Am I the asshole for not eating meat at my partner's family dinner as a vegetarian? I, 21 female, was at my partner's 21 male house the last couple of days. We are university students, and I usually go to his home once a week during summer. His mother will usually cook dinner once whilst I am at their house. She is a lovely lady, and we get on well most of the time. However, at the dinner table, she served me meat, and I kindly refused and said that I had eaten beforehand, but really appreciate being offered a meal. She knows I've been vegetarian for the last few months, but tries to include me on family dinners, which I do appreciate, but will decline as what she cooks will often contain meat. I politely declined and reiterated I was grateful to be over at her house, yet I didn't eat meat for personal reasons. She sighed, rolled her eyes, and it made the dinner very uncomfortable. It was the most awkward 20 minutes ever. I honestly considered caving and just eating the meat to fix the horrible social situation, but couldn't bring myself to. My boyfriend even seemed annoyed with me, and I feel quite terrible. I am vegetarian for animal welfare reasons, and hope to move towards being more plant-based someday. I feel terribly rude and wonder if I should have just sucked it up Am I the asshole? Would I be the asshole if I don't return the car my friend bought me as a birthday present? It was my birthday a few weeks ago, and my friend Luke bought me a car as a birthday present because I didn't have one. It's nothing fancy, but I'm beyond grateful to him because having a car has made my life so much easier. Unfortunately, my boyfriend isn't happy that Luke gave me such an expensive gift. He said it's inappropriate for another man to buy me a car, so he wants me to return it. Most of our friends are on his side and agree it's weird for Luke to have bought me the car. I've known Luke my whole life, and he's practically family, so I don't see it the same way as them. None of my family find it weird, and my brother told me that Luke said I should sell the car if I didn't want it, but he wouldn't take it back. I keep fighting with my boyfriend over the car, and he refuses to even sit in it now, but I really don't think I should return it as I know Luke and he'll just be offended. Would I be the asshole if I don't return it?
Am I the asshole for blocking all contact with my step-siblings as well when my dad said I don't meet the standards to be in his family? A while ago, my dad called me out of the blue to tell me that he didn't like that I mentioned I had a sister, whom he has no contact with, when someone asked if I'm only child at the wedding of my stepbrother. He also told me that I don't fit in his family, because he remarried into a rich family, and although I live very comfortable, I am completely self-made but not rich. We're speaking millions in his new family. Basically, he wanted to cut off contact with me and my kids because of these things. It's in total the third time he dumped me, but stupid me was too loyal and always kept him in my life. Now I'm really done with him. But because it hurts, I decided to also block my step-siblings. Didn't grow up together since there was never made room for me, so not a tight bond between us, although they did nothing wrong to me. I just don't want to stumble upon their happy family life. Am I the asshole for cutting contact with them as well? I didn't explain it to them, just did it because I know I will get shit from multiple people if I try to explain because they adore my dad. He is everything to them he never was with me. My dad is also a clear narcissist and is masking, so his environment will never believe how he treated me because I'm one of the few who knows him a long time and knows when he's bullshitting to have people adore him. Am I the asshole giving our son child support money but not telling him where it came from? My wife and I have been married for 14 years. When we met, she already had an 11-year-old son who is now 25. He has started his own family, lives on his own, has given us 2 grandkids. We married within a year, moved out, and raised him together. His father was never in the picture. He was in and out of jail and was physically abusive to both my son and my wife, so he had no custody or visitation. Once every few years, we'd receive a check for a few $100s. We'd give some to our son and use the rest towards bills. To this day, he owes well over a $50K. Today, to our surprise, we received a payment for $3,000. My wife wants to give our son half, but we both know that our son will not only insist on the full amount being given to him, he'll get very upset about it as well. His wife, knowing her for many years, will likely also tell him he deserves all of it. I believe my wife is entitled to at least half for obvious reasons. We are considering giving him the money, but not telling him where it came from. Am I the asshole?
Am I overreacting? My husband deleted all his social media apps right before his surgery. My husband was scheduled for a medical procedure at the hospital due to some recurring health issues. He's still young, but has been dealing with chronic kidney problems that needed more intensive treatment. A few days ago, his symptoms flared up badly, severe back pain and swelling. I convinced him he needed to go to the ER, so at 2 a.m. we were admitted. The doctors decided he needed a procedure under general anesthesia to place a temporary stint. Before they took him back, he had to give me his phone and other belongings to hold during the surgery. While he was in the operating room, his phone kept getting notifications. When I went to check if any were from the doctors or important family updates, I realized he had deleted Instagram, Snapchat, and Facebook. All apps that were definitely there just yesterday when we were showing each other funny videos while waiting in the ER. This seemed really strange because he's always been pretty active on social media, especially Instagram where he posts gym updates and connects with old friends. We've never been secretive about our phones or social media accounts. I'm probably just stressed and overthinking because I'm terrified about his health. But the timing feels weird. Why would someone delete their social media right before going under anesthesia? We did have some issues in the past before we were married. He had been messaging an ex-girlfriend inappropriately. I forgave him and we worked through it. Maybe I'm just exhausted and paranoid from sitting in this hospital all night worrying about him. We have 2 small kids at home and there's so much going on right now. I love him so much and I'm genuinely scared about what could happen during this procedure. Am I reading too much into this? Or should I ask him about it once he's recovered? Please be kind. I'm just a mess of worry and sleeplessness right now. Am I the asshole for telling my in-laws they can't bring their child over anymore? My husband and I have a 3-week-old. His sister's son is 14 months and unvaccinated. She does not have any plans for vaccinating him. We told them today that we no longer feel comfortable with them bringing him to our house unannounced, and they are upset saying that I'm trying to divide our families. For extra context, our 3-week-old spent the first 2 weeks of her life in the NICU due to needing a life-saving surgery, and we are also waiting on the testing to come back for cystic fibrosis as my husband and I found out we are carriers after conception. They are making me feel like a horrible person for wanting to vaccinate my child and for not wanting their son around yet.
Am I the asshole because my wife and I won't let my brother's girlfriend teach our daughter about Wicca? My brother's girlfriend, who I will call Sally, wants to teach our 4-year-old daughter witchcraft. Sally said she wants to teach her about the different energies and how they balance and about harmony with nature. My wife and I told Sally that we appreciate her interest in our daughter and wanting to spend time with her, but we don't want her to do that. Sally thinks we are assholes, which, to be honest, I don't care about at all. What surprised me was my own brother siding against me. He said we should let our daughter learn about different religions and that it will be good for her. My wife and I will certainly teach our daughter about other religions, but we don't need Sally to do that. Also, our daughter doesn't need to learn how to practice paganism in order to learn what paganism is and the history of the different types. My wife said she doesn't want my brother's girlfriend to babysit for us because the whole situation freaks her out a little bit. My brother and Sally are both very offended. My brother mentioned the situation to my dad, who is a staunch atheist with absolutely no tact, and made fun of Sally for her silly voodoo nonsense. Now my brother isn't talking to my dad, and everyone is mad at me because this is all my fault somehow? Are we in the wrong? Or is my family crazy? Or neither? Could be neither.